Narration about him by Abi al-Muhallab. He says, كان تميم يختم القرآن في سبع. That Tamim radiallahu ta'ala anhu was known to complete the Quran in its daily recitation every 7 days, every week. But Ibn Sirin says about Tamim, أن تميم الداري كان يقرأ القرآن في ركعة. That Tamim is one of those people who finished the entire recitation of the Quran in a single rak'ah. That his qiyam was distinguished. That the man would stand up and he would pray all night long with the Quran. Masruq ibn al-Ajda', he says, قال لي رجل من أهل مكة, that a man said to me from Ahl Makkah, that he said that هذا مقام أخيك تميم الداري. Tamim al-Dari, he said, this is the place of your brother Tamim al-Dari, where he used to pray at night. And he said, I would hear him praying all night long. And he would read one ayah at times, and he would cry the entire night reciting that one ayah of the Quran. And he said, and I remember him reciting the ayah from Surah Al-Jathiyah, أَمْ حَسِبَ الَّذِينَ اجْتَرَحُوا السَّيِّئَاتِ أَنْ نَجْعَلَهُمْ كَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Do those who commit evil deeds think that we will make them like those who believe and who do good deeds? So he did that all night long, reading that one ayah and crying with the Quran. Now, subhanAllah, in this process of his being distinguished by Quran, one of the tabi'een comes up to him. And this is such an instructive moment. He comes up to Tamim al-Dari and he says, Kam juz'uk? How much do you read at night? How much Quran do you read at night? So Tamim responds to him with anger. And he says, لَعَلَّكَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ يقرأ أحدهم القرآن ثم يصبح فيقول قد قرأت القرآن في هذه الليلة فوالذي نفسي بيده لأن أصلي 3 ركعات نافلة أحب إلي من أن أقرأ القرآن في ليلة ثم أصبح فأخبر به. He said, it seems to me like you're one of those people who reads the Quran at night and then you wake up in the daytime and you tell people, I read this much Quran at night, I read this much Quran at night. It seems to me you're one of those people who goes out there and tells people what you read at night. And he said, Wallahi, I would rather just pray witr, 3 rak'ahs of witr, and not tell anyone that I prayed those 3 rak'ahs of witr last night than read the entire Quran at night and then wake up in the morning and tell people how much Quran I read. Think about that. Hide your qiyam. Someone asks you, how was last night? Alhamdulillah, I had the greatest night of tahajjud ever. Why is your back like that? Man, like 8 rak'ahs, 2 hours, felt like Ramadan last night. Keep it to yourself. Hide your qiyam. Hide your tahajjud. We have a tradition where the Salaf would hide it from their spouses. Tamim is saying, I'm not interested in playing this game and telling you how much Quran I read at night or how much qiyam I prayed last night. He said, I'd rather just pray witr and not tell anybody. Right? Then read the whole Quran at night. And subhanAllah, with that, Allah made him famous for his qiyam, for the people next door to him and what he was renowned for. So anyway, it's a longer narration. But this man says to him, the Sahabi was upset. And he says to him, you know, some of you Sahaba are so impatient with us when you teach us that you should either be quiet or you should leave off teaching. Right? Like, why did you have to scold me like that? I just asked you how much Quran you read at night. Why did you have to scold me that night? So when Tamim al-Dari radiallahu ta'ala anhu saw him upset, Tamim radiallahu anhu felt bad. So Tamim radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, أَلَا أُحَدِّثُكَ يَبْنَ أَخِي. He said, let me speak to you, O my nephew. Let me explain to you, O my nephew. He said, أَرَأَيْتَ إِن كُنْتُ أَنَا مُؤْمِنًا قَوِيًّا. What if I am this great mu'min? What if I told you I pray a lot? وَأَنْتَ مُؤْمِنٌ ضَعِيفٌ. And you're a weak believer. And then you would feel despair. Because I tell you I read this much and then you can't read that much and then you would feel despair. And he said, what if the opposite is true? Where I read very little and then you'd be disappointed. You'd say, oh, the Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ, they don't read enough. So he said, what's the benefit in me telling you how much Quran I read at night? So he said, I'm not trying to shame you, but I just want you to understand this is something personal between a person and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now with that, subhanAllah, what's narrated from his children, and this is incredible, Anna Tamim al-Dari, and this is al-Dhahabi rahimahullah records this as well as the other Ibn Hibban. He says that one night he slept without praying tahajjud. So he missed his wird at night. فَقَامَ سَنَةً لَمْ يَنَمْ فِيهَا عُقُوبَةً لِلَّذِي صَنَعَ. So he spent an entire year, he took an oath on himself that I will not miss a single night in qiyam for an entire year as a punishment for missing that one night. And this is one of the narrations that's used to suggest that it's permissible and sometimes it's good to make an oath on yourself to say, for example, let's say that you missed the sadaqah or you missed the salah, to say that I will, in replacement of it, multiply. Uquba, as a punishment for myself, punishment in the sense as a means of disciplining myself so that I don't fall back in that again. And so let's say, for example, you missed the sunnah of fajr, so this time you won't just pray 2 rak'ahs at the time of duha, but you'll pray 4 or 6 or 8 rak'ahs instead, right? As a punishment for that. And in that regard, in his fame that was unintentional but acquired due to that righteousness, this was a man who assumed the position in the khilaf of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu that